Now we're really getting into the nitty-gritty with this trial. Before we get into it though, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Did y'all watch the Super Bowl? Were you into it? Now listen, my grandpa is a Kansas City Chiefs fan. He has been forever. When they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, he literally cried because it had been 50 years since then. I'm more of like, what can I cook type of girl. Like, okay, the Super Bowl, I don't care who's playing if it ain't the Saints and they ain't played in like 13 years now. But I'm like, hey, can I get some dip? You want me to make some wings? I'm all about the food. So y'all let me know what y'all did this weekend. Did you watch Super Bowl? Did you just not care? Did you cook something good? Let me know down below. All right, y'all. So we are going to catch up with the supposed to be the last week, but we're still going here with the trial for Alex Murdaugh. Now, this week has had more of the oomph to it, the meat and potatoes, the stuff that makes you go, Spoiler alert, I still don't know if the prosecution has proved their case. And I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm also going to tell you guys after we do this little recap, and I'm going to try to just hit the high notes. I'm going to tell you guys some stuff that I've learned from people that are locals up there that know what it's like to be in this town where this Murdaugh family dynasty had so much power. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, go and check out the playlist and get caught up because otherwise we're just keeping rolling here. So make sure you guys stay to the end so I can give you guys some little behind the scene thoughts. So, all right. Let's start off with witness Michelle Smith. She was Alex's mother's caregiver. Now, she won my heart. If y'all did not watch this, I'm going to show y'all some clips, so y'all just hang on. This woman she's just so precious and so sweet. She was actually at Alex's parents' home the night that Maggie and Paul lost their lives. So you guys know the story that Alec gave, okay? He was there. He left there to go and visit his mother. Now, when he went to go visit his mother, that's where Michelle was. She was the caregiver. And then he came back, and that's when he says that he found his wife and his son. Now, she said that it was very unusual for Alec to come over that late in the evening. She also said that when Alec got there, that he was very fidgety and anxious and just didn't seem like himself, and that he only stayed about 15 minutes, but that Alec had asked her to tell anybody that he had been there 30 to 40 minutes, which she found to be strange. But you guys got to remember, she's working for these people. When you watch her testify, you can tell she really loved and cared about this family. As a matter of fact, she said that Alec was wonderful to her.
Did he ask you anything about that when he was talking to you?
Yes.
Did he indicate to you what he wanted you to do with that information?
No. No.
What did he say?
He just said that he was at the house for 30 to 40 minutes. I said.
He said what? Was he there 30 or 40 minutes that night?
Not to my recall.
Why are you crying, Ms. Smith?
Because they're a good family, and I love working there. And I'm sorry all this happened. Good people, you know.
He wasn't there no 30 or 40 minutes, was he?
No.
She even talked about how she was getting ready to get married and he offered to pay for the wedding, which could be a manipulation tactic. But looking at it from her perspective, she has this wonderful family that does her so good. They go above and beyond. They help her out. They do all these things. And she loved her job. She had no idea that it would possibly be because his son and wife, who she also knew very well, would be found dead. 3 days after Alex's dad's funeral, Michelle said that Alec came over with what she believed was a blue tarp balled up and under his arm. Now, stay with me because this blue tarp situation is kind of important. She said that he took it upstairs. The defense would later press her about this blue tarp and say, was it a blue tarp or was it a blue rain jacket? The prosecution was trying to insinuate that Alec used this blue tarp in order to conceal evidence for the crime. However, apparently SLED found both a blue tarp and a rain jacket that looked very similar hidden in a closet.
Is this the type of tarp that Mr. Murdaugh came in to the Alameda house on the day that we're talking about?
Yes.
Tarp like this that would maybe cover up a car. Is that right?
Yes.
Any way to confuse this with a rain jacket?
No.
He was not carrying a rain jacket, was he?
No, it was balled up. I don't know him.
And you said it was balled up, and it was balled in such a manner it did not look like there was a shovel handle, a gun, or anything. It's just balled up. Is that right?
Correct.
Have I balled it up sort of correctly?
Yes.
Then the raincoat was pulled out and showed to the jury. And the raincoat was so big, it was a pullover type, not with a zip, and it could have easily been mistaken for a tarp. He does not have to prove that he is innocent. He only has to cause enough confusion to create reasonable doubt. And as of right now, you guys, whether I think he did this or not, his defense is causing enough confusion to create doubt. Then they ended up calling another witness. This witness is Jeannie Seckinger. Now, she was the CFO at Alex's company, PMPED. She says all of the lawyers at this company are salaried $125,000 a year, and they get bonuses at the end of the year with a percentage of fees all of the attorneys brought in throughout the year. She confronted Alec the morning of June 7th, and she wanted proof that he didn't give fees directly to himself. However, they didn't get a chance to finish the conversation because Alec got a call that his dad was in the hospital and not doing well. After the murders, they didn't bother him about the money given the circumstances. However, by July, they were back to investigating his theft and ended up confronting him again about it on September 3rd and 4th. The entire law firm rallied and is still paying the clients back that had money stolen from them by Alec, which was over $2.8 million going all the way back to 2015.
And ultimately, in July, y'all received an email from Chris Wilson saying the money was in the account. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What did you later find out about whether or not all that money was in the account?
We found out after September 3rd that all that money was not in the account. Chris Wilson called us and actually wanted us to pony up the other portion of the money.
And what portion was that?
There's a couple $100,000 that was still missing.
A few months later, your attention got turned back to these matters, and you ran that inquiry. Then the whole thing started to unravel. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Then they called an expert that's name is Megan Fletcher, and she is a GSR expert. She went on to talk about the shorts and shirt SLED collected from Alex the night of the murders. GSR was found on the shirt and shorts. Only 3 particles on each though. Alex's hands had 1 particle found. No particles were found on his shoes, and 1 particle was found on the seatbelt of the car that he drove that night. GSR was found on the inside and outside of the raincoat, a significant number. 38 particles on the inside. There could probably be more, but she stopped for time's sake. Man, you guys, I feel like he's winning his case right now, what we're talking about right now, which is crazy because I kind of think he was involved. I don't know if he did it at this point, but I think it's so hard to think of, like, could he really do that to his family? I don't know. It seems weird, right? But the residue, the little particles, like little one that was found on his hand and then on his seatbelt, but then on the raincoat. There was so much on the raincoat. Of course, the prosecution's trying to make it seem like he had the raincoat on and that's when he did it and he took the raincoat off. But the defense gets up there and says, I mean, this was a hunting camp. This is what they did. Of course, there's going to be residue on stuff. And what if he would have taken the raincoat off at some point and threw it in the back seat on top of their firearms that they use for hunting, and the residue got on the raincoat? I mean, it's crazy, you guys. It's crazy because it feels very O.J. Simpson and Casey Anthony-ish. It feels like we all kind of believe in our stomach what happened or could have happened, but it's becoming a circus. And let me remind you guys, and this is something that my friend was talking to me about the other day. They pulled in 900 people to get a jury, okay? It was so hard to find people that weren't biased or they could try, listen, in some way because of this family being in power for over 100 years. They had to go into this courthouse, y'all, and remove photos of Alex's dad and grandpa and great grandpa because their pictures are on the walls in there because they've been prosecutors and lawyers for over 100 years. This is how well established this family is in this town. So they're removing the photos to try to give him somewhat of a fair trial. Stay with me here. So they got 900 people. They get it narrowed down to 80. Then the judge asks them, hey, for the jury, everybody stand up that knows my client or knows about this case. Every single person stood up, you guys. They could not find a single person that was not familiar. So they had to go with a full jury that was familiar and hope that they're going to do the right thing. All it's going to take is one person on that jury member to have been paid off previously, to know the family, have connections, and they've got connections. Okay, this is a very powerful family. It takes one person. That's it. Like, this is just so crazy. This is going to end up being a movie for sure. And then when I was talking to my friend, she pointed out to me, and I don't know if y'all thought about this, but let me know. Typically, if you have a family that is so powerful in a town like this, right? Like the Murdaughs, right? So powerful. The victim side would advocate in order to have the trial in another town so it could be fair, to make sure that the perpetrator or the defendant, who is Alex Murdaugh, doesn't have connections. However, in this case, he is the victim's family. There's nobody to advocate for that and fight for that because he is the family. So therefore, the trial is happening in his town with his connections, with his people, which brings me to Wednesday. Y'all, they had a bomb threat in the middle of the trial. I like to fell out, y'all.
Just a moment, sir. Now I have the jury go to the jury room for a recess. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to evacuate the building at this time, so we'll be in recess until we discover what's going on. We'll couple this with a lunch break until 2:30.
They had to clear the whole entire courthouse out. They was out for hours. Who called in a bomb threat and why? It could make it look like to the jury that somebody's out to get Alec, and that is his whole entire defense, basically, that people were after him and got his family or got his son for the boating accident. And there's people, including like my friends, that believe that Alec was behind the bomb threat. But how? How? Every phone call is recorded from him while he's in the jail. But if you listen to his phone calls in the jail, you'll hear him say things like, hey, send this inmate money, give this, did you put money in this inmate's account for this and this? Who knows? Maybe there's another inmate sitting in the jail with him that, you know, $10,000 would be life-changing to them. And Alex in there, you know, getting them to talk to their girlfriend at visitation. Hey, call in. Is he really orchestrating? I don't know, you guys. This is so wild. Unless all 12 of those jury members have a vendetta against him, I'm thinking he's going to get found not guilty. Does that mean he's not guilty? No. I'm thinking he's going to get found not guilty right now because this is a mess. A mess. But also, he still has to face like 90 theft charges, but I don't know, he may have connections. This is crazy. Okay, so let's keep going. Then listen to the bank situation, y'all. This is, imagine this. This is when they talked about Alex Murdaugh having $360,000 in overdraft in his bank account. I don't know about y'all, but baby, if I was to overdraft 50 cents, the next one is going to be red, 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 ding, ding, ding. Now my card's not swiping and I can't pay for my gas. This man had $360,000 in overdraft. And you know what the bank charged him for an overdraft fee? Guess. $5. The man has so much power. So much power in that town. He was even seemingly connected with the bank. And get this. After they charged him, the bank, that $5 overdraft fee, the bank put $400,000 back into his account. What? Where they do that at? They don't turn his card off. They charge him a $5 overdraft fee and then turn around and put him a complimentary $400,000 in there that just came out of nowhere. Crazy. The former CEO was indicted for this. It goes so deep. Then, as if this wasn't enough, then there was the courtroom Buster drama. Now, Buster is Alex's only son left, his oldest son, the only heir to his legacy or kingdom or whatever you want to call it, the Murdaugh dynasty. They were going to kick Buster out of the courtroom, y'all. I'll just show you these tweets right here from the news station. Breaking news, Murdaugh family warned that they will be next to be thrown out of the courtroom for inappropriate behavior. They have now been moved from the front row behind Alec to the back row. Sources say improper communication and passing of notes from the family to the defendant have taken place. Additionally, an obscene gesture, a middle finger, was given from the son to testifying witness, another lawyer, Mark Tinsley. When asked to move to the back of the courtroom by security, Buster is reported to have kicked over a water bottle. Alex Murdaugh's sister, Lynn, allegedly passed a note to Alex's lawyer to pass to Alex. Brothers Randy and John Marvin have not been an issue. Next step for offending Murdaugh family members is to be removed from the courtroom for the remainder of the trial. Now, can y'all imagine this? His son is in there shooting a middle finger to the witness on the stand in the courtroom, kicking over a water bottle, passing notes to Alex. Y'all, I cannot deal with this. What is happening? This is a crazy trial. Are y'all watching this? If y'all are just catching up with here, then okay, but this is a mess. There were other witnesses, but I'm just hitting the ones that I found the most important to me and the most interesting. And the last one we'll be talking about today is Miss Blanca. Now, Miss Blanca was the Murdaugh's house manager at the time of the murder. She was working at Moselle on June 7th, and she says that on the day of the murders, Maggie asked her to cook dinner because Paul liked the way that she cooked, and she asked her to pick up some Capri Suns for Alec. Now, Miss Blanca would testify saying that Maggie, Alec's wife, who was killed, told her that she didn't really want to come back to where the dog kennel and to Moselle that day, but that Alec had basically insisted that she come there.
Alec wants me to come home. And she kind of sounded like she didn't want to come home, because she really liked being at Edisto, and they had a lot of work that was going on, and she was trying to make sure everything was ready for the 4th of July gathering that she was planning. So she was very detail orientated, so she wanted everything perfect. So she was she sounded like she was a little disappointed, and then she said, well, Alec asked Paul to come home too because he's got to fix the mess up out there that CB had done.
They weren't even really supposed to be there, and Maggie didn't even want to go, according to this witness's testimony, but Alec talked her into going. She also said that Alec called her the morning after the murders to tell her about what happened to Maggie and Paul. She said that when she got to the house later that day, she noticed that there was a puddle of water in the floor, there was some khakis, and there was some clothes next to the shower. She also said that there was a damp towel and a clean shirt on the floor of the closet as well.
It was hard because I know she wasn't going to be coming back. And I didn't want to move. I didn't want to move her stuff. It was just a weird feeling going through when I unlocked the front door to get in. It felt cold.
She says she never saw the green Columbia shirt or leather loafers that Alec was seen wearing in Paul's Fallen Tree Snapchat ever again. She also says that it was a different shirt than what Alec went to work in that morning. Blanca washed all of their laundry, so she was very familiar with it. She also said that Alec gave her and her husband $1,500 a week to stay at their property there until he could figure out what they were going to do with it, which it definitely can come off as one of two things. It can come off as he's a very nice guy, he's very caring and considerate, wants to help people, but it could also come off as he's trying to buy people's silence without asking them, like create some sense of loyalty, like manipulate them without them knowing it. Then she said that she was cleaning out Maggie's car after the incident and she found Maggie's wedding ring under the seat, which made it seem like maybe that there was trouble in paradise. And then on August 23rd, she said that Alec contacted her and said, hey, like there's a problem. He told her he had a bad feeling and that something just wasn't right. He told her that there was a video that had come out of Paul's Snapchat video of Alec with the fallen over tree. She said that Alec implied that he wanted her to say that he was wearing the Columbia shirt that morning, not the different one that she remembered him wearing. They had another conversation on September 4th, the day of the roadside incident, and Alec asked her to send him a copy of his health insurance cards. Said he was getting routine exams done, even though it was on a Saturday. The prosecution would then ask if she knew whether or not Maggie was worried about money. And before she could answer, the defense explosively objected.
She had a conversation with me a few months prior. I walked in the house and Maggie said, hey, Blanc, she said, I got to talk to you. I got something to tell you.
Hearsay.
Response?
Judge, I think, was she anxious about money issues?
Your Honor, I object to.
Well, I know you objected, and
But he is.
I understand your objection. Well, I don't care what you're doing. There's an objection to the previous question. The objection is sustained. While entertaining the objection, you cannot pose another question. The objection is sustained.
I apologize.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I hesitate, but this is a matter that needs to be put on the record.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have you go to the jury room. Please not discuss the case.
He said before Your Honor ruled, was she concerned about money or wasn't she concerned about money? He testified, which is to hearsay, I would move for mistrial. I think it's unduly prejudicial based on the last 3 weeks we've heard of financial misconduct on part of the defendant. I would move for mistrial. I would move that it's not mistrial because I don't think, even if you give this jury an instruction, you can't unring the bell. You can't correct that. And now I've had to draw attention to it, even more so by objecting to it. He knew that was wrong. Thank you, Your Honor.
The judge did go ahead and allow it in and brings in the jury back to hear it. Blanca then says that Maggie told her she felt Alex wasn't being truthful with her about the lawsuit and that he doesn't tell her everything, but that they were wanting $30 million to settle the Mallory Beach case. But she said that they didn't have that kind of money. And something else that was strange was another witness that was called. His name is Nathan Tutton, and he was Paul's friend. He's also a current police officer. He said that when he drove Alec to the airport court, which was on July 4th, and this was after the murders, that Alec would say that now he didn't have to worry about the boat case. So, you know, it goes back and forth. Then it starts to seem like, did he either kill his family, his wife and his son, in order to get out of this $30 million lawsuit? Or did he have them killed? The issue is still going to be, it seems like the motive was there, but can they prove without a reasonable doubt that he did it? And if they can, how did he do it? There was 2 guns. There wasn't a bunch of gun residue on him. They have yet to find like their blood on him like that. Like, I don't know, you guys. And then again, like I said, it only takes 1 jury member, 1, in order to hang the whole thing up and him get off of this. Now, my friend that lives up that way seems to believe that he has been setting these things in motion before the trial. Long before the trial, he's been getting his ducks in a row. And it does seem like it with a couple of these witnesses that maybe he nudged things in the right way. But it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. If he is lying, y'all, and if he really did all this, he is putting on a show in there. A whole entire show with his looks. And it's interesting because if you listen to the phone calls between him and Buster, Buster does not seem, like in the phone calls talking to his dad, he does not seem like he's too much like on his dad's side or going to help him. But then he was like showing out in the courtroom. So it's like you cannot figure these people out. You cannot figure out what's really going on. And I wonder if that's going to get him a not guilty verdict. We're going to see though. What do you guys think? I think there's a chance that he could get found guilty, but I also think there's a big chance that he won't. And right now I'm thinking that it's going to be not guilty. But I don't know. There's still some more witnesses. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Other than that, I'll be watching the trial this week along with you guys if you watch. And if not, I will be back with a recap. Let me know what y'all think down below. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.